This is Scott with Amateur Homestead. Currently the Northeast is getting pummeled with about 3 feet of snow. But in Florida it's a nice day. So today we're going to replace the drive belt on this. The drive belt on Polarises are basically the equivalent of the clutch. So I'm just going to show you how it is. They're pretty much all about the same, less a couple things. Okay, first thing we need to do is remove the seat. That way we have access to these bolts up here. What you want to do is remove this bolt that holds on this fender, and then this whole clip come out as well. Remove these bolts down here. That way we can just slide this whole assembly out, and that'll be all we need to be able to access this. There's 9 3/8 bolts all the way around this housing. Go ahead and remove those, as well as disconnect either one of these. That way you just remove the housing. Alright, now that you have those bolts undone and this undone, just unplug, remove. Well, the inside's a little dirty, nothing I'm worried about. What we'll want to do is when we put it back together, you can still see some remnants. I used white lithium grease. You just grease this whole thing and it'll fit into the seal that's in there, and it'll seal it watertight. So this right here is our belt. This is our culprit. It's just burnt up. It's actually pretty damn loose in there too. So we'll go ahead and pull that out. I'll show you how we do that. I found to do this is not removing all the clutches. It's stick a screwdriver in there and work it off. There's your old belt. You can always get the cheap knockoff stuff on eBay. I can't really say I recommend it because they'll burn up faster than what like a Polaris belt will. I mean, maybe there's some aftermarket ones, but Polaris kind of knows what they need in their clutch. Now, speaking of Polaris, you want to look down in here and feel for any grooves. And if there's any grooves, then it's going to be starting to chew your belt up. It's smooth, but it's also got like a divot there. So this clutch might be about used up, but we'll throw another belt on it, see how long it lasts. This last belt lasted about 3 or 4 years, but you can see it's starting to delaminate, come apart. You hold them up side by side and you actually see there's actually almost what's about an 1/8 of an inch difference. So you can see that the belt slowly burns up, and I mean that 1/8 of an inch is the difference between grabbing and sliding. You can look, it's starting to dry rot in there. So I mean the belt got used, it got used up as it should. So, put in a new belt, pretty much repeat the process. You want to go around that. Now this belt will probably be a little bit harder to go on, but you just stick it on and rotate it around until it pops in. Done. That easy. I know a lot of guys like to remove the clutch and this and that, but I mean if you're just going for a quick belt change, boom, you're done. And you take that, like I said, what we're going to do is grease up all the way around here. I used white lithium last time. You could use pretty much anything, just a grease. If you do a lot of mudding and water, you know, you're driving through a lot of water, you'll want to grease it just to seal it. This four-wheeler will be next to be snorkeled after we do my big one, but for now we just seal this up and it should be enough. If you do mainly sand and trails, then there's really no need to seal it any more than what's already on there. They already seal. Some people use silicone, but then it's all crappy and you got to scrape it off. Just some grease should keep out the water. Right now we're applying the grease. I mean, it's not gobbing on, especially on the inside. You really don't want it on the inside very much. Just a little bit on this lip up here. Not much is going on the inside. A little overlap will be okay because it'll be sitting inside the seal anyways, but don't want a lot. Alright, now when reinstalling this, you do not, under any circumstance, want this grease to touch that belt, because that'll be just like oil in a clutch. So you kind of go down here and just slide it in. Don't forget to put your clamp back on. Wiggle it back on. Alright, now just kind of wiggle it in there, get that grease to move around. Basically, you tighten your 9 bolts, tighten this clamp, put it all back together, and then you're done. Your Polaris belt change is complete. We have now installed the belt housing cover, tightened up this clamp. I went in and put this bolt in up here. It's still loose down here. Now, when you go, I don't know if all the Polarises are set up like this, but some are. They have these little rubber bushings that sit like this. Well, over time, that part breaks off. That's like a metal washer connected to a rubber bushing. So you got to remember to get your rubber bushing in there before you run your screw through, and then run it through the hole and then put your washer on the bottom. Otherwise it'll have a big gap in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do these 4 bolts here, and then just put the side cover back on and we'll get it done. Yeah, it's kind of a pain, but you get all the tabs lined up, and then it slides up and forward, and then this part just kind of clips back into here, like that. And it's an old 4-wheeler, so it doesn't sit perfect. And then install your seat. And we are done. And that is how you do a belt change on a Polaris. This happens to be a 330 Magnum, but they're pretty much all the same. Thank you for watching Amateur Homestead, and please comment and subscribe. Thank you.